Hey guys, what's up? It's Johnny here, and welcome to the May Black and White Lounge Critique Assignment Goodness. And as always, I'm here with B. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, really good. As you can see, guys, it's pretty cold here. It's
Ooh,
winter,
yeah.
midwinter here in Australia, and it's just a few degrees above freezing, which is freezing for us.
And you'll have to forgive me, I'm a bit man-flued up, so yeah, that's why I sound a bit husky. All right,
and so we've got Andrew on the other side. How are you doing, Andrew?
We're warm here in the northern hemisphere. So hey, I've got a little, it's the beginning of summer here, and so you know what that means on the farm. We've got some babies. We've got some babies. So
yeah.
Sure. So
hey, g'day, how you going? Oh,
here's one of our baby goats. This is Violet.
Okay, everyone at once. 1, 2, 3.
So say hello to the people. All right, she's about 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
So
what's up?
So it keeps us busy here on the farm, and when I'm not doing photography, so
they're not working. Yeah, you're busy.
Not working. Well, yeah, right.
So that's epic, man. Good share.
Yeah.
Good share.
That's a very good share. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool.
And who's that who came and gave you Violet?
That's my daughter. That's my oldest daughter, Lydia. Yeah, come on, Lydia. Say hello.
Hi.
Say hello.
Hey.
She's my biggest helper with the animals. So she caught Violet tonight in the pen, which is not an easy task. So
good job.
Extra stars for that. So
very good.
Anyway. There you go.
That's gold.
All right.
Good call, Violet. Love you, man.
So anyway, that's part of what I've been up to. Anyway, we'll pass it back off.
Epic share, dude.
She needs to go back to her. She needs to go back to her mama. It's time to eat. So.
Yeah. I know the feeling. Cool.
Awesome. All right, let's jump right into it.
Do you want to get right into it? I'm swinging my cable. I haven't got my normal headphones today, and the cable's a bit shorter, so sometimes it's going to.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't fret.
Okay.
All right.
Share your screen, Johnny.
Share the screen. All right, let's do this. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share the entire. So we're going to go into time warp for a second, and then we're on the screen. All right, Andy, can you see our screen there, buddy?
Yep, I sure can.
Awesome. So, guys, look at all the images that were submitted. Like, this is everything in, amazing. You guys have and there's some beautiful images in there.
Black and white. I love black and white. So
you're a huge fan, aren't you, B?
Yeah, let's jump in.
All right. You want to start with the first one, buddy?
Yeah, Keith. Love this image. Look at that. Look at the symmetry, the shallow depth of field. Just love it.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I like how you're sort of looking into it, and the focus is that dead center there, which often, when you focus on these things, they tend to, you focus on the outside. I love how the sharpness is right in the middle there. I think he's done a great job.
And I like the way that it's darker on the outside. The whole area on the outside is dark. And I think I gave Keith some feedback on just darkening the bottom a little bit, making it totally black. But just love that image. Wow.
Yeah, I think he's done and I love the crop too. It's the square crop just works for me perfect.
Awesome. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I really like it. I think when you're doing an image that's symmetric, it's nice for it to be really symmetrical, and I think you just nailed it. You did. That's really great.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll jump on to the next one. This is Norman. I just love these leading lines on this one. The texture of the plowed fields. I love it. Awesome. The only suggestion I could give here to Norman is the sky looks a little noisy to me. What do you think?
Yeah, and look, it may have even been something he's added during his black and white conversion. Sometimes people like to add a little bit of noise, but definitely, it definitely looks like there's some grain or some noise up there, and that may have been something he's done on purpose. The other thing I'd say too, it looks like that the light is really, really harsh there. I don't mind the bit of blown out sky, and I don't mind a bit of harsh light, but even if you had to wait just that little bit longer till it went behind a cloud, or it just sunk that little bit lower, maybe that light wouldn't be so harsh. But look, I think it's a great job, and it's definitely, those leading lines are killer. You don't get anything more perfect than that.
Totally. I actually like the harsh light because I think it adds more contrast. It really sucks your eye in all the way down to what's happening in the background there. So just an excellent image. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Andrew.
I think the contrast, you know, that's kind of one of the points I think we'll probably make about the black and white images is, you know, they really do well with a lot of contrast, and contrast really makes the black and white image. So, you know, I think in color this might be a little too much contrast, but in black and white, I think it really you know, it really gives it a lot of punch. So. Yep, I really like the leading lines too. They're great.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you jump into this one first, Andrew, if you like. So Peter's image of the moon. Yeah,
well, this is fantastic, and you know, I think he used like a 600 millimeter lens and a 2x converter to make this image, and you know, the amount of detail is great. And one of the things, and I think Johnny might have commented on the comments about it, but you know, a lot of times people take an image of the full moon, and you know, with the full moon, all the light is coming from, you know, directly behind you, bouncing off the moon. But this is just not quite a full moon, and you get that feathering of the light along the right side, and that adds, you can see all the texture of all the craters, which I think makes it really cool. So.
Yeah, I love that, and I think that's a really good suggestion. You know, if you are shooting the moon, you don't have to shoot it at full moon.
Yeah, definitely. I love the light fall off and the added the depth that adds to the, you know, the sphere. It looks amazing.
Sure.
Yeah.
What did he shoot this at? Because I know you got to shoot it reasonably fast, right? So that the moon doesn't move. He didn't say.
It's not in there.
He might have said. Okay, never mind. We'll jump at the next one. This is from David. You know what I love about this image is the way the 39 and the 40 are separated by that shadow. You know, so really, the 39 really jumps out to me.
Yeah.
And he's also added a little bit of color to this. So it's not a full, you know, black and white. It's got a little bit of brown or earthy colors in there. So love it. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, definitely. The way that he's placed the tape there and the light falling across it, it's definitely appealing. And again, you know, having that light area and dark area, it really works with the black and white. And I actually like the toning that he's chosen. It's very interesting. It makes for a lot of interest.
Yeah, it has a really clean, you know, just a really clean, crisp look to it. It's you know, it really, I think it's and the amount of contrast that he has there, I think is good. So.
Yeah, and even the aperture that he's chosen here, you know, the depth of field is wonderful. You look at those rolls down to the right; they're in focus all the way down to the last one, but it falls off nicely to the background. You know, you can still see little bits of detail in the background that give it a sense of place. But I think he's nailed the aperture there. Yeah,
love it.
Great job.
And these ones are difficult. I think is that a metal tape?
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't know how he kept it from unrolling. Good job.
Well, how do you keep it from blowing out? I mean, that's
true too.
That's tough too. Like having the highlights too bright.
Yeah, and there's still details in the shadows there. So it's awesome.
So Rita sent in this one, really interesting image with the fence. You know, getting that close to the actual cable. And look at that, you can actually see through the cable. That's pretty cool. And I think this was the second version. If I remember right, the first one had the fence pole right in the middle.
Okay.
And then I gave it some feedback on maybe just moving it one side to or the other. And I think it's a much stronger image now that the fence pole is, you know, on the right-hand third of the image.
Yeah, definitely looks like a stronger crop. One thing I'd say compositionally, you know, even taking a step back with the fence and getting a couple of posts in line and having just one in focus and the rest out of focus, and something that is great compositionally when you're shooting fences. And it's definitely looks much stronger with that crop for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, Andrew, you jump into this one here.
Oh yeah, I love this image. This is I really love I love the composition. I love the aperture that he's used here. That fly is, you know, really in focus, and the focus falls off nicely. It's got you know, it's you know, just got a nice kind of almost on the third, the way the lines kind of lead, the way the shadowing kind of vignettes in around the subject. I think this is a fantastic image.
And I like the way someone said that the flies are getting quite close over there.
Yeah, I think they're just talking, but I don't think there's anything else going on there. They're just having a chat. Yeah, flies do that.
Funny one. Okay, we'll jump into this. for me, this image by Jane, just those eyes, or that eye just really jumps out to me. The eye and the ear. So that's the first thing I looked at. I looked at that and I'm just, my eye went straight to the cat's eye. Love it. I mean, it's such a strong image to me.
Yeah, no, the eye definitely. We all know the eye is very important with wildlife and pets, and what I like about the eye actually, it looks like there's either, I can't tell if it's window light or a lamp or something the cat's looking into, but that is right in the middle of the eye, and just my eye is just drawn straight to it.
Totally, and I think if this was a color image, it wouldn't be as strong because you probably get color from the background. I don't know if this cat's totally black. And maybe the couch that it's laying on, or the bed or whatever, may not be totally black, and the background would have colors in it. So it would actually, take your interest away from the cat's eye. But being a monochrome, it just really works.
Yeah, and seeing the detail in the whiskers there as well, it just adds something extra to the image.
Yeah, well done, Jane.
Yep.
Anything you want to add to this one, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I think the toning is really nice. I mean, there's some nice strong blacks in the image, and I know there was another thread in the lounge about this image. I think this is the one that Jane was talking about, that she had printed, and she wasn't sure if there was some calibration issue with the image or with the printing. But I think the toning and the range of tones is really nice. I think on my monitor it looks great. That eye is not blown out, but it's it really grabs your attention. So I think it's nicely done.
And I love those rich blacks too. Where it goes totally black. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So Sarah's got this one of the flower. Johnny, you jump into this one.
Yeah, I love the composition here. I think it's great. And I love it when there's a flower in the foreground and one out of focus, in the background, adding some extra interest. I think it's really, really nice. And the way you've composed this, it looks great. I think the composition works well. One thing I would say, this is a personal preference, guys. Yes, we spoke about contrasty images for black and white before, but for me, I would say the highlights on this flower are a bit too much for me. I would like to see them softer. It's a personal preference. You can diffuse the light coming onto that flower, shoot with a bit of cardboard, or you can a reflector, or get someone even to stand over it and just block the lights of the things totally in shade, or wait for an overcast day. But for me, I just find that the highlights are a bit too bright for me. I would like to see, and I think it just. Yeah. Anyway, that's a personal preference, but I like to see softer light. That's
and I think the depth of field that she's chosen here is excellent.
Perfect.
Perfect. The background flower is not like totally blown out, blurred.
Yep.
And the back of the flower is a little bit blurred, which is good. But most of the flower, the front center bit is totally in focus. I wonder if she's given us information on what she shot it at. So 7.1 is the aperture on a 46 mil lens. So there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, I think I agree with Johnny about the light shaping on that one, and I think the thing to me would be if that light was centered more on the center of the flower. I think the fact that it's the kind of petals at the edge that are highlighted kind of draws you really want your eye to go more to the center of that subject, and it's kind of drawn off to the side a little bit. So, either diffusing or maybe even a little bit of like some soft fill flash, might actually help that a lot. So,
awesome, guys. If you got any questions, I think we got the Q&A working, have we, Johnny?
Yeah.
Do you want to just check that quickly?
Yeah.
Or Andrew, maybe you can check the Q&A.
Yeah.
See if we can.
Yeah, we're going to do a time warp now. The Q&A is definitely there.
Okay.
Yep, cool. So if you've got a question, guys, jump in. And Andy, if you can watch that while we're on the screen share.
Okay.
If anything pops in, that'd be wonderful.
Awesome. Okay. So if anyone has questions, just put them into the Q&A and we'll answer them right now.
You can still see the desktop, buddy?
Yeah. Here we go. I'm just pulling the Q&A up. Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Good.
Okay. So here's one about Gail. What an excellent image, hey?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, she's got all this negative space at the top too, which is great. I love that, the pear.
Yeah, I think the negative space in the shot works really well. I love that. And there's some natural gradient of light too on the negative space, which really adds a lot of interest. And do you see that? Like it's you see it like up the top. It's really nice.
It's lighter than the bottom, which is interesting because normally it goes.
Yeah, lighter. Yeah. Anyway, but it's lovely how it's side lit. It gives it good shape to the. That's the thing. Things that are partially lit always look a lot better. When you're doing things like this, if it's partially lit, I think Joe McNally, if you've ever heard of him, he said things aren't lit unless they're partially lit.
Really?
So things that are partially lit always look more interesting. Yeah, and definitely in black and white where it's accented.
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's great.
It's almost like a window lighting. It's reminds me of a Rembrandt painting or just the way it has that kind of soft side light.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the way you can actually see on the left there, you can see where the dark equals the lighter background. And then it's the opposite at the top there. So that's really interesting, normally when you're photographing something like this and you got a background that's relatively close, where the pair is actually sitting on, the background would be the same lightness. Well, here it's opposite. So it's a lot lighter at the top than at the bottom. So, when you're photographing something, especially in the studio, the light will fall off evenly, but here it's not falling off evenly, which actually makes it more interesting, I think.
So does it make any difference between artificial and natural light then in that situation?
Well, I suppose it depends on how close the background is to the actual light source. So it looks like she's probably got this on a table. The background is probably a wall far away, and it's getting some window light at the top here.
Yeah, it's nice.
Which makes it interesting to me because you actually kind of you're halving the pair. Half the pair is actually it's got a different background to the other half.
I think if I had one suggestion, I just noticed it then would have been I probably would have cloned out this line along the bottom here just to clean things up. I mean, a very minor thing, but all these little minor changes make for the final
and that's
product.
Probably just a fold in the paper.
Yeah, it probably is. That's all it is. And you could just chuck it in Photoshop or and just clone it out or whatever. Yeah. But awesome image. Yeah, I love it.
That's good.
Oh.
Here's one from Matthew. I think I've seen this one in color before. It's one of the ones that is actually sold.
Yeah.
Great image. So Andrew, you jump in on this one.
Yeah. Well, again, this is one that has it has the kind of the subject in the center. But it's just I love the way the lines all radiate out from the center, and it's really sharp in the center, but there's kind of this like dreamy softness that kind of comes out from the around the edges, and I mean I remember seeing this image in color, but I really like this black and white version. I think it's really it has almost like an abstract kind of quality to it. It's really nice.
I love these abstracts. And the great thing about the lounge, guys, just so you can see, is there's a lot of comments on this image and a lot of feedback for Matthew. And I think the monochrome, the black and white, is much stronger than the color. Having seen both of them, and I love the way you got this little bit down here that's in focus, and then your eye kind of goes to this one, and this one that are in focus, and all the rest seem to be out of focus, which is great. So it's a very interesting image to look at.
Yeah, it's such a unique view of a flower or a seed head or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It looks great. Print it big and hang it.
Yeah, Matthew, actually send me the print.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my wall.
Yeah, no.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do, Johnny?
What's that, mate?
I'm going to buy prints from people in the lounge and put them on my wall.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
Awesome, bro.
So, Andrew, I want one from you. Matthew, I want one from you. I want this one, Matthew.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. All right, so here we go. Jenny, she's added this image to the lounge. Just a beautiful dog. What kind of dog is this?
Don't
know.
I'll think of it. I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Is it Border Collie or is it
Border Collie? That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about this? The collie's eyes are totally in focus, and her nose or his nose, it's out of focus. Yet part of his tongue's in focus.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. And the sharpness is amazing. Like those hairs around where the white hair goes to the black around his eyes. Love that.
I do wonder, I'm just trying to look in the background there, and I'm not sure if that little bit of noise in the background has been added. Either is it noise or is it just sometimes it might be sharpening, artifacting. Can you guys see that, particularly in that shadow on the left-hand side of the image over here? I'm not sure what that is, whether it's a bit of sharpening noise that's come back in. And that's a good tip, guys. When you're sharpening your image, if you're in Photoshop, I would add a sharpening layer and then I would mask out that area. You know, so you don't need to sharpen this soft area at the back. That doesn't need to be sharpened. All these areas here need to be sharpened, okay?
Yeah.
Or do the opposite, mask back in the areas you want sharpened, depending on which way you want to go.
Yeah.
Or grab the masking slider in and hold down the Option key. I think it's Alt on Windows, and drag that to the left in Lightroom, and you'll see it'll start to mask out those areas. The areas that go black won't be affected. And I think that might be what that is there. I'm not sure if that's a bit of noise or just a bit of artifacting that's come back in with sharpening. So
Great job, Johnny. Great.
Cool.
Job. Yeah, awesome. We'll jump into the next one here. All right. So this, it must be the original that Gail put in.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
So we'll jump to the next one. All right. So Sarah has entered this image into the black and white area. And I think this was that commercial shoot that you did, right?
Yeah.
The yoga shoot. Yeah, interesting.
Uh-huh.
Very interesting, because I've seen these in color too. So Andrew, why don't you start on this one?
Well, I think this one actually lends itself nicely to black and white, because there's a nice contrast between like her bathing suit and the sky, kind of like what you were talking about. Like you have some dark background and some light background, and I think it's a nice. She has a nice gesture, and it looks like I think maybe there's a little bit of fill flash on this. It looks like. Because it looks like the sunlight's coming from the left, kind of behind. So, but it's a subtle kind of fill. So I think it's kind of highlights her face.
And I can see I can see a catch light in her eye. So there must be some fill.
Yeah, must be some fill. Yeah.
No, great image, Sarah.
Yeah, the one little suggestion with this one, I thought, and I'm always looking for little things to clean up, just to clean it. Just this little tail here. It's not a big deal.
Yes.
It's such a little thing, and it'll take 2 seconds to remove, just to clean things up, just to touch it. Because it's always a good thing, before you finish your image, have a look around the edges, have a look around if there's little things that you can remove just to simplify the image, or anything like that. For me, anyway, that's what I look for, and I just remove little things like that. And there's no harm in doing that. I actually really like the fact that she's got down low and shot up. The horizon's really low and not cutting a neck off and all those things. I think that's what's nice about this image. But I'm just looking at it, and I think it's nice light on her face as well. Maybe. Whoop, Johnny just stuffed up there. But I just might maybe wonder if her face should be just a touch lighter. I'm battling between her belly here and her face. It may just be my screen. I don't know. But I would just make sure that the person's face, because that's what you want to look at. It's the expression, it's the emotion that you want to see in portraits. Yeah, that's for me. Other than that, I think it's a great image, and I'm sure the client was very happy. Yeah,
one thing, Sarah, I'll suggest to you is that that when you're photographing people, always face them into the wind. Like when I'm photographing families, I don't really worry too much about the light. It's more the wind and the hair getting into your face. So if you can face them into the wind, the hair's out of your face, even though it may be harsh light, but it's better than having hair in the face.
Hair across your face, yeah. I mean, she was really lucky with her capture. It didn't interfere with her eyes, which I think's fine. I think that's fine. But that's a very good tip. Yeah.
All right, Johnny, we've got a couple more here.
Here
we go. David has got this image, and I think this was from a charity event that he did. He's close to us, I think. Newcastle guy.
Yeah.
So great image. Love it, David. I love that expression on the little. Is it a girl's face?
Child.
The only suggestion I can give you here is that pole in the background. Now, I know it's tough when you photographing kids, because often they move around, but you know what, if you just moved a couple of half a step to the left, the pole would have framed the little person, and the mum on the right would have framed her, and it would have been a stronger image. But it's still a great image. Love that expression on the face, the little doll that he or she is holding. Love it. And actually, I like the toning too.
I like the toning too. I actually like the framing of the mum or whatever it is. It seems like there's a bit of framing with the arm around the child as well, which is really nice. And I love the people out of focus in the background, because it just sort of tells a story. Your mind just wanders onto what's going on in this little kid's mind and what's happening around the child. But it wouldn't be hard to actually remove that pole in post. You could easily get in there and clone out really tight around the little beanie and the tent there, and then just content aware the rest in Photoshop, and it'd be quite easy to remove. But yeah, I love the capture, and kids, man,
Yeah.
they're tough. It's tough.
Yeah, he also got down to his level too, which is really, really good. And I know that's one of the tips that you have given, Brent, in your videos about shooting kids. But it's almost like the child's perspective. The adult is kind of half cropped out, and that's you're kind of entering this child's world, like you're kind of looking at things from their perspective. So it's kind of cool.
And it actually shows the difference between the size of the adult to the size of the kid. Shows how small the kid actually is. And he did a good job by getting the kid's attention.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had to be the clown or fall over or do something for the kid to actually look at you. That's a great.
Good, very good.
And this one, by Lynn.
Yeah,
this is really interesting. Maybe we should just click on it so we can see the whole thing.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll see if it comes up.
Yep.
All right, so this is a really abstract image, and what I like about it is I'm not quite sure about that shadow. Is it a human? Isn't it?
Yeah. Is it a dialect? Like a Dalek? Sorry, from Doctor Who. Exterminate.
And the diagonal lines, the road stripe, and then the crack in the road. Yeah, and it's really interesting image.
And it's sort of framed by the shadow. It looks like a tree in the top as well. I mean, often, guys, this is a really good thing. Often we miss simple images because we're looking for that massive whatever. Yeah. We're looking for the big bang image when we miss these little details. And you know what? I do it too, mate. When I first started, I would click everything. Say, oh, that's awesome. I love that, and take a shot. And as you're developing your photography, sometimes you forget. Sometimes the simplest images can be, the most effective. So I like that Lynn has shot it. It looks like a shadow of herself. I'm guessing. I'm not sure, but so it's a good tip. Keep your eyes open and look around, because sometimes the simple things often make for an effective image.
And I've noticed that too with with people that have got, especially if they've got a new camera, they go out there a lot and they're just shooting everything, getting down, on their belly, photographing the sand dunes or whatever, and they're getting all these really interesting images. Where a lot of people are kind of or wait for that beautiful sunrise. I'm not going to pull my camera out. So
that's it. And sometimes you miss the great little captures like this.
Really interesting. Anything you wanted to say about that one?
No, I think it's really, it's a very thought-provoking image. And when I look at it, I'm not sure if it's a little spooky or if it's a little interesting. Exactly. It almost makes, it would be a good image for like an assignment, like write a story about this image. What is using this image that you like write a fictional story. It could be, it could be anything.
It could actually be the cover of a novel. And guys, check this out. Look at the texture in that shadow.
Yeah, I like that too about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it actually would look really interesting if you printed it kind of big, because it has so much detail in it too. I really like it. It's a really good eye to see that,
For sure.
Excellent.
Yeah, good.
So we've got a couple more and then we'll finish this off. So here's what Matthew Ship has put in, and this is a really interesting image, especially because the flower in the foreground, the one in focus, is actually not perfect. It's like it's got a couple of missing petals, I guess. All them right.
Yeah, man.
It's got the petal that's actually turned back like that. Really interesting. And then so my eye kind of goes from this one, then it goes back there, then it goes to this one, then the one at the back left here. And then I start looking at these other things in the background. So instead of being totally black, the background, there's a little bit of detail there, which I think makes it quite interesting image.
Yeah, definitely. Compositionally, it's definitely, I'm not sure whether it needs a crop or it should have been shot a bit further to the left, pushing this, the one that's in focus, a bit further to the right. I'm not sure. I think that might make it a stronger image. And this is another good tip, guys. Often when you're shooting things like this, shoot a tiny bit wider. Our cameras capture so much detail. If you are a little unsure about composition, give yourself a bit of space to have a play after the fact. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great getting it right in camera if you can, but there's nothing wrong with shooting a tiny bit wider and cropping after the fact. Nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, that's part of the creative process for me anyway. So, one little thing I would say about this one, Maddie, is that little blob in the sort of the top left over here, I probably would have got rid of that. You know, again, I'm one of those people, you know, always removing something, but I find that little, I love the stalk and I love this bit and I love the stalk going up here, but that little blob for me is just a tad distracting. But that again, you know, maybe just be personal preference. You guys haven't mentioned it, but it's something that drew my eye. But,
yeah, for sure. Awesome. Good. And we'll jump to the last one. Maybe we'll give this to Andrew. Sharon has photographed this. Looks like a landscape image, seascape.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like this image. There's a lot of interesting detail and kind of patterns here. And you know, this looks like a rocky shoreline with the wave coming in. I guess the main thing I would wonder about this image is, you know, like what this location might have looked like if you cropped in a little tighter. Because I think there are some interesting abstract patterns, but it's a little bit for me. It's a little bit too grounded because you do see the waves coming in, and I think I think if you know I think if you maybe shot at a slightly different angle and cropped in a little more tightly, it might come across as more of a pure abstract kind of image.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you, buddy. It's sort of that distance between I want to see more or I need to see less. You know what I mean? It's like, where's the exact point of interest for this image? I mean, I would if this location, awesome location, and I love where you were headed with this image. So I would have either gone really wide and showed more of the scene, or gone in really tight. An area that I really love in this image is this bit here. You know, this section from here up to these little waves. You know, in the rock there. You can make a more detailed abstract and really focus in on a section of that rock. So. Yeah, but I think
another thing that might have been interesting is if you tried a really long exposure here with those, you know, I don't know how far those waves are coming in. It looks like it's pretty wet there in the foreground, so those waves may be coming in and covering that, you know, every few waves. So if you shot this with a like a 10-stop ND filter and shot a really long exposure, you might end up with something that's kind of otherworldly too there.
Sure. So, and I would say, Sharon, if you go to the spot again, I don't know how far it is from where you live, I'd get down really low, you know, almost laying on your belly or, you know, down to foot level and actually photograph these, the textures in the rocks here.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just love those textures. They're amazing. And you get really close and you photograph them and it'll go off into the distance. You know, maybe even use this. This looks like a kind of an eye over here. You know, that's a really interesting point of interest. So I'd use, say you choose that as a point of interest, have something in the foreground that goes to the point of interest, leads your eye into that big rock eye.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, more props to you for finding something like this. I mean, you know, that capturing your eye, there's definitely something there. I just think, either focusing down or going wider it's just gonna make it a stronger image.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, Johnny. So we
cool, man. Let me flip back.
Screen.
Yeah, we're going to go through the time warp. Woo!
Okay, there we go.
All right, we're back. Yeah. All right.
So that was another great assignment. Thanks, guys, for everyone who put the images in there and all the comments on all the images. We're loving it. It seems like the assignments has been a very popular thread or something for people to do in the Share, Inspire, Create Lounge to actually improve their photography. So thanks for everyone that's submitted it. So what else has been happening, Andrew, in your life and
well, I'm it's beginning of summer for us here, so I've made some arrangements, some changes in my work schedule this summer. So I'm going to be spending a lot more time traveling, kind of close to home. We're going to be spending a couple long weekends a month traveling to different state parks. Really trying to capture some more images close to home. So awesome. This weekend, we're going to Hocking Hills State Park, which is in Ohio. They have some awesome waterfalls there. So it's going to spend like 3.5 days there. So hopefully come back with some good images. So.
Can't wait to see them, man. That's awesome.
Awesome, guys. And I've just come back from Vanuatu. I did a little humanitarian trip over there, which is really interesting and really good.
Yeah.
So, back to the cold here in Australia. And Johnny, what's been happening with you, man?
Oh man, you know how it is, dude. Babies and families and lounge and photography love. That's it, man. That sums up my whole life.
Okay, good stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Awesome, guys. Well, I think that's it for the last month's critique. We're gonna jump back into the lounge now. I'm gonna put the questionnaire out there, the 3 different new assignments, and we'll get everyone to vote on them.
I think we should add that one. Who was it? Someone added to the lounge.
Giving back.
Giving back.
Ah, yeah.
Or helping people.
Helping.
Was it helping?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting assignment. Helping.
Helping. So a photograph that actually helps people. Or
well, it could help people, or it could be someone helping someone else, or it could be anything.
Yeah.
Could be
okay.
Might be interesting.
We'll
something different. I think we'll put that in as a selection.
Yeah. We'll get everyone to vote on it. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, look out for that, guys.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks, Andrew, for
all right. Thank you.
We'll catch you all later.
All right. Thanks, Andrew.
Bye.
All right.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.